You are very special to this podcast.
Really?
Yes.
How?
You are our very first podcast guest.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel so honored.
You should feel honored. You should feel honored.
Thank you.
So I am here with Carol. She is a real estate investor, author, educator, speaker, kind of professional friend finder, a little bit of everything. So Carol Sanker,
Mm-hmm.
you wrote a book. Look at that. We have
Yeah.
that here in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
No explanation required. How long ago did you write this?
2000. Well, I finished it. I think we published in 2021. I probably wrote it in 2018 to 2021.
Okay.
So that was my night project between
Awesome.
2018 and 2021.
Awesome. All right. We will get into that later.
Sure.
We'll get into that later. But let's kind of start off talking about last time we spoke. You said something super interesting. And so we do property management over here.
Okay.
And sometimes we struggle to find tenants.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that you were talking to us about is how you have this gift of finding tenants who are going to pay high dollar for your duplexes in Concord and Kannapolis.
Yes.
And that is crazy to me. So I want to hear more about that, more about your strategy, more about your real estate investing strategy as a whole. But first off, let's talk about these tenants. How are you getting these tenants to pay top dollar, probably like $300 to $500 more than like average?
I'm a relationship builder. So I'm going to go to as many places as I can. I like to eat. So my husband, myself, my son, we go out to eat every Friday. That's the family rule. But I turn eating into like a networking event. So if I'm going to go in there, I'm going to ask the server, I'm going to ask the waitress, I'm going to ask the front person, if you need anything, here you go. Here's my number. I give my number to everyone. I don't have like a, info at, I do have it, but I mean, I want to meet you because God spare that I have a unit that's available. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. A lot of times I think we go into places with this anonymity. Like I just came to eat. No, I didn't come to eat. I came to network. When I go to the grocery, it's a networking event. Sometimes I'm wearing my own t-shirts. It's a long story, but I do have need a rental on a t-shirt with my jeans on. I'm at Compare Foods. I want to make sure that
That is genius.
Yeah.
You do that?
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh my gosh. We're going to need a picture of that for sure.
It's if you could catch me, because when I get in there, it's always bright yellow. I'm the bright yellow girl looking for a rental, and my number's on the back of it.
You took a bandit sign to a whole nother...
to a whole different level. I have no shame in my game.
Oh my gosh, that's
I'm
amazing.
going to get someone to rent something. And if I don't have anything available, I want to create a renter's list at all times.
Yes.
So even if I have nothing on the market, I want you to have my number. I want you to remember me. I want you to remind yourself that in case you ever need anything, I'm available. So the grocery, I take it very seriously. I take church very seriously. So when I go to church, I'm not here to wear the gown. I'll put the same t-shirt on and go to church. It's all about who knows your number, who has your name, who remembers you, how many people, especially that rent from you, that you can tell them, if you have somebody that you know, a referral, I'll give you $50 off of the rent next month or $100 or whatever. So I'm always strategically networking. Like this is July 4th weekend. I have a whole organized plan this whole weekend, not just about what's going on in my house, but I'm going to the grocery tonight. I'm going to the grocery tomorrow night. And then, how am I going to go out and make sure that people have seen me all weekend long? Because this is around the first week of the month. People need rentals.
Wow.
So I have to remind myself between the 1st and the 5th and the first week of the month, it's really important to put yourself out there and position yourself at as many networks as you can.
Yeah. So you're like a walking ad.
Because I look, the rental market is not like it used to be.
It's not. I agree.
Once upon a time, we could put something on Zillow and Realtor and hope. Now, people are in desperate situations. We don't have the credit that we used to have. We don't have people with the jobs we used to have.
I was going to ask you about the criteria that you look for in your tenants.
I'm a little flexible in these days because I have to be. I have tenants that, car notes are now $700 a month for the smallest car. I can't be in a position where I'm telling people how to act with their finances. I have to be a little bit flexible on what I'm inviting into the landscape of the rental system. So if your credit score is not that great, but your income is great, I can overlook certain things. But I have to be flexible on what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to I'm not listening. I don't want to hear I have a very short tempo with stories. So don't tell me about what happened in 1986, and I don't want to hear about your mother. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. Get to why we are at a certain credit score. Get to it fast. And then let me hear about this job. And are you doing Uber Eats on the side? And I'm trying to figure out what that secondary source is. How are you going to make this happen? Because I let them know up front, I will evict. I'm not here for the first and the fifth problematic stories. It's like, I will do you this favor, but I evict on the 6th. So you understand that this is not, we're in a transactional relationship. Yeah. So I network to get you in the circle, but I will forgive certain things because I know that we're in the hyperinflated times. Everyone doesn't have the same lifestyle. Everybody doesn't have the same type of expenses. So I have to forgive those who have high credit card debt right now, high interest payments on certain things, high car notes, people who are trying to send their kids to softball and things like that. Those expenses are high. I don't know what that feels like. So I don't want to be kind of like, oh, in my privilege, you got to find a way to be. I don't know what that feels like. My son is 20. I don't know what that is. So if that's your expense, I have to now factor that into my consideration factor.
Yeah. So you mentioned the scary word eviction.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, because that seems to be one of the things that people who are thinking about investing in real estate, that's like that they're terrified of it. They're terrified of that and having to wake up at midnight to fix a clogged toilet. Like those are the two things you hear from everyone. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so risky. And it's like, okay, how many actual evictions have you had to do? And let me also preface that. What areas do you invest in, just to kind of, so we know like what the court system is like?
So North Carolina is very landlord friendly.
Awesome.
So start there. Yeah. I am initially from New York State, which is not tenant friendly. So it's like everybody in New York State kind of gets away with things. Where down here, I don't have that issue. Yeah. So I think that where you invest really matters. And you can always Google, I think there are only 12 states left that are landlord friendly, and we just happen to be one of them. So that's the beautiful part. The more populated the county, the harder it is to evict because the backlog is harder.
Okay. So is that why it's harder in Mecklenburg?
That's hard. That's why it's harder. So, per capita, there are more people in line to be evicted in Mecklenburg County or in Raleigh and Wake Forest, as opposed to here. We don't have as dense of the population. So that's why our court system here, we can get an eviction in 10 days.
Which is interesting, though, because Concord is the 5th fastest growing city in North Carolina, but evictions in Cabarrus County are pretty easy, straightforward.
But I think that tenants understand now the eviction laws where they didn't understand it when I first started. Okay. So that's why they don't even want to go through the eviction process, because what evictions do to your credit is it makes it literally impossible to rent after this, because there's the financial impact and then there's the legal impact. So the legal impact is when you go to Zillow and you apply for 123 ABC Street, that apartment that you like from those hedge funds, the first thing that comes up, judgment. The second thing that comes up is the fiduciary commitment you had on the judgment to the whoever it is. So they don't want that, because now that might be kind of impending kind of issues with, if you have a credit kind of job, like my husband works in banking, you can't work at his company without at least a 720 credit score. And that's even to just make $20 an hour. Like nobody at his company, they get audited every year. You have to have a 720. So imagine your livelihood is on the line because your credit score is off. Wow. So those are the kinds of reasons why I invest mostly in Concord, Kannapolis, Albemarle, Mount Pleasant. I look at those areas because the court system does not have as high of a wait time. And after you get your judgment, 10 days from them, you get your writ of possession and
you're good to go.
We're good to go.
And it's nice when they already start packing up, when they know that you're going to evict them and they're like, cool, I'm just going to start packing my stuff and I'm going to leave. That's typically what happens, right?
No need. Yeah. I've only gone one time. Once, all the way to the end, and the people didn't pack up. Once.
It's very rare. That happens. I know.
Yeah, and the only reason she thought she was going to get away with it because she was pregnant, and so she came outside with this big belly. She was like, "Well, y'all going to evict me while I'm pregnant?" Well,
you're 2 months behind, dear.
You got to make better choices. Yeah. You're pregnant at your own expense. And I remember that day I was a little bit too enraged about that, because she came outside and she kept trying to show the sheriff on my belly, and I'm like, so we're doing this today, or do you need a car seat? I have extra one. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's just nice. You are very generous. I heard before we were talking and you were like, I give all my tenants a lawnmower to take care of the lawn maintenance.
Why not? Because I don't want to do it. So I'm giving it to you and you can do it. And if you choose not to, then I'll take it from here. And then I'll charge you extra to bring somebody here. Then if you say I don't want to pay it, then I'll bring the lawnmower back. Are we good?
So you do treat your tenants really well. So they're paying for your level of service. You're giving them a lawnmower. You're there because you said you answer the phone pretty much immediately when people call.
Yeah.
So they have that expectation. So they're paying that premium for like concierge landlord, basically.
And I know that that's not scalable. It's not like to say
it's not.
I know. I'm well aware. But what it does is it creates a relationship with people that I'm probably going to need relationships from them extended somewhere down the line as my company grows. Yeah. So we're okay now, but as we continue to grow, I'm going to need those ancillary relationships. It's true. Yeah, I do treat them sometimes a little too good, but at the same time, I look at it from the perspective of I'm in the people business. Whether or not we want to admit this, landlording is a people business. If I don't meet the people and greet the people leave. Yeah. And people that are renting normally think it from an emotional standpoint. Well, my landlord. Let's create an even playing field here. I want to make sure that I treat you well because you're treating my company well.
I agree with you there. Even at Branch Wealth Partners and our property management side, I always say like the tenants are just as important as the owners. Yeah, like we're all family. Yeah, if everyone's happy, everyone's gonna pay.
Everyone's gonna pay.
No one's gonna complain. No. So
and we keep them from complaining. Yes, that's the business at hand. And so sometimes, like I said, I know that the people aspect and the babying aspect a little bit, it's not scalable. But at the same time, the business scales because the business grows. Exactly. So if I have to do a little bit more showing up in return for a little bit more of the services, I get it. But at the same time, this is a business. So I always let them know that I have a boundary too. Don't call me 11 o'clock at night. You have to have the boundaries for sure. Because you don't have a light bulb. Like, don't call me.
So how long ago did you first start investing in real estate?
I got serious about it when COVID started.
Oh my gosh, so like 5 years ago.
As soon as COVID started.
Okay, and you don't have to answer this, but how many properties do you have now, and what kind of properties do you have? Like single family, multifamily, like what's your mix?
Multifamily mostly.
Okay.
So between Albemarle, Concord, Kannapolis, and then a few flips in between. Darling, I don't think I'd be able to count. But... And Charlotte. Now I have one in Charlotte. Yeah. But mostly multifamily. I only have 2 single family, and I'm literally thinking about just going full single family from here on out. Because the multifamily business is nice, it's wonderful, but it's a high turnover and it's very transactional. So you always have to know that you have a tenant that's going to be there 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years tops, and then add 2 years. Now you have to start this all over again, and it's the same repairs. It's very kind of like the same thing. I'm doing the same floors, the same. So I want to do
You're getting bored and you want to scale and you want to do less work. Yeah. And that makes total sense. Yeah. So when you started investing, and again, you don't have to answer this, but when you bought your first property, how much did you pay cash? Like, did you use other people's money? Did you use private money? Like, how did you get into real estate investing financially?
So long story short, I'm very financially conservative. Okay. So to know me is to know, I still eat at home to this very day. I cook, I meal prep, everything. I plan my finances out almost a year in advance. So I know exactly how much money I should have in the bank at the end of 2026. That's how long I project my money.
Are you a Dave Ramsey girl?
No, but you know what it is about me, really? Long story short, I'm an immigrant kid. So money has always been something we were always taught how to conserve. So I always take things off the table. So here are the vacations we're not going to take. Here are the clothes we're not going to buy. Here are the things we're not going to do. I understand you're looking at television and you think that Disney World is on the table. Here's Disney World. I am Mickey. Dad's Minnie. That's how we're going to do this. Okay.
I know you have to sacrifice now.
We're going to sacrifice now because we're going to play the long game. Okay. Yes. So you want to go to the water park? We're going to put the slide outside.
We'll set up the sprinklers.
I'm going to set up the Dawn. You want foamy water? How do you want this? I'm going to create experiences at this house. You understand? We're going to enjoy this house. And if you want a little something different, I might take you to the water park outside by Fiscally, and then we were going to come back inside. I plan my long-term finances out for the long term. I have a kid in university. I have to pay for that. I have a mother in New York. I pay for her mortgage. I got my own mortgage. I have this whole thing planned out. So when I got my first property, I had already kind of been thinking this. I didn't think that COVID was going to happen, but I was thinking, I think I'm getting out of I've been teaching for a while.
Okay.
And I've been writing books for a while, and I had been touring for a long time, and I knew something was going on. I was being quite disturbed by my life, and I was like, I'm gonna do this real estate thing. I'm gonna do it. But here's what I'm not gonna do. I don't want to infest my mind with what's on the podcast. I don't want to watch everybody else doing it. I want to do this my way. Because one thing about when you watch too many people do things, you start doubting yourself. So I'm saying to myself, I'm going to do this.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah, and I didn't want to get into that. So I was like, okay, we're going to do this. So I always say COVID was my best blessing yet. I had saved about $70,000 or $80,000. I just had it there.
That's reasonable.
For that time.
Everybody thinks you have to be like rich to be a real estate investor. That is a huge misconception that I'm breaking all the time.
No.
And that is and you saved that.
Yeah, I just saved it by just doing the same things I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're eating at the house. I meal prep. McDonald's is always at my house. I always have some chicken nuggets I can make. So we have been doing this for a while. And I didn't want to say much to my husband because my husband and I don't think alike. My husband is a corporate guy, and I'm the person, I will jump out of a plane as it's moving at 34,000 feet. So he can't take my moves. So it just so happens COVID starts. I remember I was exactly where I was standing. I got the call. I was teaching a class at Harvard Business School. We'll never forget this. They told us we had to leave immediately. I get on a plane. I'd never been on a plane before that was empty. I'm on a plane from Boston back to North Carolina. There is no one on. I think it was me and maybe 3 other people. You talk about we were 80 feet away from. We had a mask. We can't do it. We can't touch each other. No, nothing. We get in the airport. It's empty, and I'm like, okay, what's next? What's next? I got to get real because I can't go back to teaching. So what am I going to do to make an income? I don't plan on being anybody's stay-at-home mom. My son is in high school at the time. So it just so happens, I'm thinking about this real estate. I'm thinking, this is March 2020. I'm thinking. I'm home all of April. May, I'm bored. I need something. I'm just like, what am I going to do? So
did you read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I didn't do anything.
Okay.
Again, I'm trying not to infest my mind because I'm an academic by nature. So I'm trying to just stay home, trying to do just natural stuff. I get up in the middle of April, I meet a realtor, and I tell this realtor I'm looking for a duplex. And he says, why a duplex? I said, I hear this thing where you can get the FHA loan, you can live on one side. I don't know this is house hacking yet, but in my mind, I can live on one side and maybe rent out the other. We could figure this out because I'm renting a townhouse at the time. He shows me 1 or 2 townhomes, and then the next morning he says, I made you an appointment to look at a quad. And I said, okay, no problem. Quad is a little too big, but okay, I'll take it. We go there. This is COVID. Only one person at a time can go in. There are 50 people lined up. We are in a line around the corner. One person, then you come out, you get fully disinfected, and then they got to spray you down with alcohol. They got to take a DNA test.
Gosh, what a time.
Yeah, I can't take. And I remember the guy said you can't take your jewelry in. I said, listen, with me, I am not taking off my jewelry. You understand? So they put these long gloves on because the tenants don't want you, because they were still living there. They don't want you in there touching their stuff. And we had on all this garb. I go and I look at it, and I literally was standing by a window, and I'm hearing other investors at this time overbidding on the property. So I'm looking at my little 60 grand, and I'm hearing people outside saying, I'll give $200,000 more. I'll give $400,000 more.
Gosh.
So I'm like, I'm intimidated. I immediately come out of the building, and somebody called me by my full name, which is so strange for me. I'm like, who the hell? Because my realtor can't go in because only one person per 15 minutes at a time. So my realtor is at the back of this line. So he's never gotten into the building. So I'm like, I know it's not him. He's like, Carol. So I look and I see this guy. He's like, remember me? Now, we're 6 feet apart. I really can't see you, but I know I don't. He was like, do you remember me? And I'm like, I don't know who you are. He's like, we have a friend in common, and he says the person's name. I was like, oh my gosh, your guy's a contractor. He's like, this house, because I'm right across the street from the house. My realtor's still in the back. He's like, you want to come and take a look at this one instead? That's not a good deal. You can get this one for a lot cheaper. He calls the contractor we know in common. The guy was like, girl, I've been looking for you forever. You changed your number. I was like, yeah, I've been looking for you. Where have you been?
Oh my gosh.
My realtor is still at the back of the line. He never gets to the front. So he sends me a text with all these addresses on it. He says, all of these are duplexes. My realtor's still in the back of the line. So I text the realtor, get off the line, get off the line. So I drive to Concord to go see one of the addresses. And I immediately fell in love with it, and I made an offer. I didn't go inside or anything. My heart is fluttering because this day I'm getting my duplex, no matter what.
So you let emotion get involved a little bit in there. You were like, I'm buying this. Emotionally attached a little bit.
But also, now I don't have to deal with a broker.
Yeah.
Don't have to negotiate. I'm getting direct to the owner. The owner was on the phone, so I don't have to. So now I don't have to bid because, again, remember when I'm in the quad, everybody's overbidding. This is 2020.
Yeah.
Everyone is overpaying. This guy says it's $200,000 for a duplex, corner lot. You got the whole block to yourself. It's an acre. Sold.
Done.
But I don't know anything about how this works. So he gives me the little rent roll. I look at it. I'm like, okay, sure enough, it's underperforming, but I don't know how to make it perform. But I'm going to figure this out because I'm that overachiever. By May, remember, COVID starts in March. By May, I closed. So I'm fully closed May 28th of 2020. Good. Now, the day that I close, May 28th, the 29th, the girl that's living on the front unit tells me she's leaving. Oh, great. This is wonderful. This is how we start. This is wonderful. When I get inside there, it is a mess. I have no more money because I remember I gave it all up to get this now. So now what do I get? I just gave you $50,000. So how do
Good thing you're friends with the general contractor.
The general contractor calls me. He's like, the girl left. I said, yeah. He's like, she called me because now she still thought I was her landlord. So he said, I'll gift you the kitchen, floors, the bathroom. So he came and did the whole job.
Wow.
$0.
Gosh, this is the power of relationships.
Okay.
This is that power right here.
He's like, because I feel bad that I gave you something that was occupied. She calls me and leaves, and now I feel bad. So he did over the kitchen floors. He did over but we did it rentable grade. He says, and then he gave me my best piece of advice. He says, $1,100 now. Because when she was there, it was $800. He says, $1,100. This is COVID. So I don't know if I'm going to get a tenant. I don't know about this moratorium. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of like, okay. So within about maybe 5 or 6 days, I get a tenant at $1,100. This is the start of the animal and the beast within.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
And then 2 weeks after that, I signed the next contract for a triplex. Remember, I don't have any more money left.
Yeah, so how would you do that?
So the same contractor came in and he owner financed part of the down payment, and I came up with the other 30. So it was $90,000. He gave me $60,000 in a note, and he took a position on the property, and I gave up the other 30. Yeah. It was fun.
That sounds fun. That's very who, not how.
Yeah,
It's amazing. I love that. I love stories like that. This is showing people that you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to start investing in real estate. If you really, it's just being in the right place, hustling, knowing that you want to do it, and then taking the actions to do it, building good relationships. You will get there.
And that's exactly the question you asked me in the beginning. How do I get good tenants? Well, how did I get the deal? I knew the person that knew a guy. I'm always building relationships. He didn't have to tell me about this duplex. He also didn't have to say, well, I feel bad and I'm going to do this for you. And then he also didn't have to give up the other $60,000 to make my next deal happen. But that second deal is how the now domino effect of the investing portfolio happened. Because when I sold that, he got his 60 back, and I made a few $100,000 out of that, and then I reinvested. And that's the first duplex. I still have it to this very day.
That's amazing.
That's my first duplex.
Yeah, I mean, when you're living in your calling, things just happen.
Yeah,
they
things just
happen easily.
Yeah.
So we touched on this in the beginning.
Mhm.
Let's circle back to it. So you wrote a book.
Mhm.
You're an author. Apparently, you're also an educator, taught at class at Harvard.
Yeah.
So real estate investor. What else do you have going on? Tell us a little bit about the book. Let's go into that side.
So once upon a time, I was an educator. I guess that's how life started for me. I went to law school thinking I was going to be this high powered lawyer. I had planned to.
Where'd you go to school?
Hofstra.
Oh, you're a Long Island girl too.
Yes,
love it.
I was planning to be Johnny Cochran's ex-wife at that time, and he just happened to die. So it's a long story. I wanted to be his ex-wife. I wanted to be Johnny Cochran, because the reason I wanted Johnny Cochran, because he's the best lawyer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if I'm going to be with the best, I'm going to be the best. But I want to divorce him quickly. Anyway, so I had planned on being the highest power lawyer you can be all throughout Nassau County. That was my plan. And I knew early, I'd say around my second year of law school, I knew I was never going to be a lawyer. I could tell I didn't have it in me. And I thank God for a lot of great mentors, whether they know that they were my mentors or not, along the way telling me I'm not going to make it as a lawyer. There were a lot of women that consistently told me, you're too pushy in an industry that doesn't have enough of you. Don't do it. And Long Island law is different than any other law. It is very who knows who went to school with who, where'd you went to school. And that's the reason I picked Hofstra, because I was like, okay, everybody goes to Hofstra, I'm going to go to Hofstra. So when I got out of there and I'm all confused after I spent how many years going to law school, I look around and my mother's like, when are you going to start practice? I'm like, Mom, I'm not doing it. And she's like, you're not, oh my God, you're not going to be a lawyer. I'm like, no, you better be. I'm like, no, I don't think I have it in me. So imagine coming home and telling your parents after they've spent how many years sending you to law school, I'm not going to do this, but I'll finish, but I'm not going to practice. Okay. So that didn't go over as planned. And then I came out of that not knowing what my next move was going to be. So I just went into corporate America like everyone else and acted like I underplayed my own position. I played small because I just needed a job at this point. And I'm not telling people I work with that I have all these. I'm not doing that. I'm just, let's play this job thing. And again, calling. I go work for one of the biggest credit card companies in the world. Let's not say their name. I'm working in Long Island all the way in, oh my gosh, I forgot what that is. Great Neck, I want to say. And they have a site in Great Neck and a site in Manhattan. I get there, and 6 months after I get the highest paying position I can ever get, they lay us all off.
Oh gosh.
So I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I went and taught a class here, because I'm just trying to make a little bit of money. That's all I'm trying to do. I don't want to be a full-time professor. I don't want to teach. I just want to pay bills, just my electric bill, nothing major. And it just so happens that throughout that, I started teaching at different universities, guest lecturing, and then subsequently I started writing books, articles. I've been a writer for Forbes for a while. I was a writer for Inc. for a long time, for maybe 8 years, I think. I wrote a lot of their educational content, a lot of their confidence content, a lot of their negotiating content. So if you look at Inc., there was a period of time I was the only woman and woman of color writing for all women for Inc. magazine for a long time.
That is awesome.
And then I got tired of it. It's boring. It's not something that I'm bored of. It's just that I felt like I was talking to a group of people who didn't have the right to listen. It's hard when you're trying to break barriers in education with something that is not educational, meaning like I'm not teaching just economics. I'm not teaching like there's no rationing to this idea. And so I got tired of just touring and it takes a lot on your body to get in a plane, come back. I used to go in a plane, go to DC, come back, teach a class, leave, go back to Harvard, come back, teach. I I stayed in the airport more often than
That's
I'd like.
exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
There were times I'd sleep in the airport. I can tell you how many times I slept in Reagan International because that would be my gateway to go back to Boston and come. No, I couldn't do it. So I did that as long as I could. I had the beautiful honor of being on a lot of talk shows and doing a lot of media. It's great.
Very cool.
And then one day I just said, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So
yeah,
I gave it up.
I bet.
But I'm proud of the things that I did do.
Yeah.
I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm an Inc. speaker. I've done a lot. I'm proud of the things that I did do. And I'm glad that I have that in my history book. And so when I open up my history book full of my own memories, I'm like, oh, these are the things I've done.
Well, that is amazing. Okay, so for everything that you did, what is, for our listeners, what is the best piece of advice that you can leave everybody with that you wish you would have been told sooner that you want to share?
Don't be afraid of strangers. I think what we did as, and that's not us, what our families and what society has done to us has made us afraid of strangers. And so we make calculated guesses about people we don't know for no reason. And now you get into certain positions in life where you need a stranger, but you can't figure out how to meet them. But because you've had some sort of predisposed belief about that stranger, you don't meet them. I think my greatest life's lesson is introduce yourself to as many strangers as possible, whether they speak your same language, whether they live in your neighborhood, whether they even are your same culture. It doesn't matter their age. You always have a learning element from everyone. So as much as I make fun of my younger crew, my son is 20. His friends are always at the house. I'm not the kind of mother that wants to be away from them. I want to learn from them. There's a language that they speak that I don't speak. And a lot of times his friends stay around me because the language I speak, they don't speak. And I always tell them, meet as many strangers as possible on a daily basis, not just on social media. You'll be shocked what people don't know about other people because they don't meet anyone that is not like them. So you don't get out of the element. And when you're growing companies, you need strangers.
And you 100% do. So there you have it. Don't be a stranger. Talk to everybody. Love the advice. Thank you so much, Carol, for coming on Branching Out. Our tagline is where real estate meets real life. Yeah. Still getting used to saying that. How do you like our name?
I love it.
Good? Do you like it?
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
Awesome.
Let's not be strangers.
Let's not be strangers. Awesome. So thank you for listening. This is what we do. We bring in real people, real investors, tell their story, give awesome advice, and really give you, as our listeners, the tools to become a professional real estate investor if that's what you want to do. So tune in next week. We're going to have another great guest speaker on, and we look forward to seeing you.